And one of the good things about Toastmasters and project management, I am able to incorporate both. And we're going to be discussing that today. Well, as the person who introduced me said, I'm an adjunct lecturer, but today I am not going to be lecturing you because I know it is late where you are, and I want you to just get an idea of project management for you to make a decision to move forward. And as always, my clicker chose not to work at the right time, but thank goodness I know how to do manual. How are we doing today in terms of energy? I hope you are all at number 1, and I know it is Friday, so possibly you will be at 2, but at the end of the session, I'm hoping that you will be back at 1. A little icebreaker exercise before I jump into my presentation. Madam Timer, if you could time 3 minutes. I'm a lover of dogs, and I want you to spot for me, please, 3 differences between these 2 adorable dogs. Three minutes on the clock. Let's see the first person who can get that. Do we have anyone?
Yes, the dots on the color are different.
Right, that's 1.
The nose.
The nose,
There's a
2.
white spot on 1.
Right, that's 2. I got 2.
Also the chain.
No.
On his leg, one of point is not there. So, on the right leg.
Yes, right. So those are they. Great job. So we have some great project managers here. They're able to spot differences. So let's see what they are. Someone said the nose, and someone said the little dots on the collars and the spots on the hind leg. So those are the 3. Very good job for those persons who got it. And you are on your way to become super heroes. The title of my presentation today is Project Managers Don't Wear Capes. Well, wait a second. I'm wearing a cape. You know, an employee said to me, Liz, you can't save the world alone. So I guess I got carried away. So I wore my cape today. And the title of my presentation is Project Managers Don't Wear Capes. So let me just get rid of that cape. I want you to take a look at these photos. And all of them are aerial photos, as you will see. And my presentation today is going to be an aerial view on project management. So if you take a look over here at this empty spot right here, just make note. So this photo was taken back in 2017. Somebody had a wonderful idea, and they said, I wanted to utilize that piece of property to do something. By June of 2017, you could see some excavation work started to go on here. See, we have heavy equipment and the land is cleared. Later that same year, more excavation work, but things are kind of smoothing along. And then about a year, if you notice on this photo, there is a plant over here, and this is in Jamaica. It's a community called Old Harbor Bay in St. Catherine. And over here, we have a power plant over here that is run by steam. Come 2018, this is the same piece of property that you saw in 2017. And you see some infrastructure in place here. And now you can kind of decipher what it is. It's starting to look like a power station, correct? And at the end of the project in 2020, the vision that someone had to build a 194 megawatt combined cycle natural gas plant was completed and handed over in 2019. How was this made possible? Moving from here, empty property, to a natural gas plant that provided 194 megawatts of power to our national grid through project management. My role today as project manager is to, over the next hour, we're going to go through the what, the why, the where, and the how of project management. And then we're going to go into Easy Speak, because Easy Speak is almost a project that I had taken on in my role as VP Ed at our club. So we're going to look at what is project management, why is project management important, and how it drives change. And like superheroes, we say up, up, up and away, because I'm going to teach you how to get certified and using project management skills in Toastmasters. Because one thing I like about project management, it is a discipline that can be used in any facet of any organization or any facet for your life, even at home. The expected outcomes, therefore, would for us to have a better appreciation on the application of project management in everyday life, understanding how the certification process works, and we're going to look at some practical applications. Now, project management is the use of specific skills, knowledge, and tools that to deliver something that is of value. I want you to think back of the photos that I had shown earlier. Empty lot that added no value. It was just sitting there, transformed into a 194 megawatt combined cycle plant, replacing an old steam plant, easy on the environment, natural and friendly, and providing employment to others. It added value to our country. So the team comprised of a number of project managers, some of who are here on this call today. A lot of them were engineers. My background is also in HR, so I handle the HR aspect of building out the HR aspect of that new plant. With projects, they are temporary in nature, and they provide a unique product, service, or result. In the case of the 190 megawatt plant, the unique product was the plant providing the service of providing electricity to Jamaica, to the national grid, and also the results. And why do I say that it is temporary in nature? It is temporary because it differs from operations, which most of us are very familiar with. Because in operations, we go to work every day. And some of us are teachers, some of us are engineers, and we have our different perspectives. And we do the things repeatedly, every day, day in, day out for the past 10, 20, 30 years, 5 years or so. You go to work and you do the same thing. However, with projects, it's different because it has a definite start date and it has a definite end date. And that is when we call those activities a project. All projects, as I earlier mentioned, has a beginning and an end. They have teams. So on working on this 190 megawatt project, I was part of a team. There is a specific budget that is given during the project. You also have specific timelines to deliver. For the 190 megawatt, we had 2 years in which to do it. Everything, because costs and budget, and I'm going to speak about what we call it's a balancing act between budget, scope, and time. And that is why in project management, we find it allows us to be more efficient because it takes specific skills to balance on these projects. And finally, each project is unique and differs from our routine operations and the ongoing activities in any organization. So in your organization, if you have a project team, you may notice that they may be taken out of operations for a little while, and they serve a particular period on a project, and then they're put back into operations, because it is different from operations and it is managed separately. It has its own key performance indicators. This is what I refer to as the iron triangle, or we call them the triple constraints. As a project manager, your responsibility is to manage time, these guys down here, time, scope, and cost. What is very important about managing these is that if you manage time and not manage cost, it can run your project either over time, out of scope, and of course, naturally, it will affect your costs. Likewise, if they say to you, I want you to build a power plant, that is the scope. It's a 194 megawatt plant, or let's continue to use a plant. And then you build something else. So you build a 50 megawatt plant. That's not the scope. So again, because the scope is not, because you have not adhered to the scope, it's going to affect your costing, it's going to affect the time. So that is why they call it the triple constraints, because those are the three main areas that you'll have to focus on as a project manager for your project to be successful. Say as a project manager, you had a grand idea. Customer wanted a swing, just a regular swing with a piece of board or a tire and a piece of rope. That's all the client wanted. And you say, no, that is too basic. And you decide to build a very fancy swing with expensive seats and everything because you as a project manager thought it would have been perfect. Would that project be would it be in scope? No, it wouldn't, because that is not what the client wanted. And by you making a very fancy swing, it would affect the cost to your customer, and also it would have taken more time, as opposed to just finding a tire, getting a piece of rope, tying it to a tree. You would have gone out to purchase more expensive items. So that is what we call the balancing act. Project management drives change. Now, we live in a projectized economy, and more and more organizations are finding it so useful to utilize project management methodology because, one, it saves them money, it saves them time, and it saves them resources, and also not having to do rework of a lot of their functions. So what we're calling now the project economy is what is driving the work behind projects. So now, because of this project economy, there is an increased need for project management or project managers. So project managers are recognized as a strategic organization competence. You will notice in some organizations that they started to form what we call project management offices or PMOs because of that shift to support the project economy. Project management is also a subject for training and education. A lot of organizations in their learning and development organization have started offering training, project management training. And a lot of organizations across the globe are also offering training in project management because of that pull from the project economy. And of course, a career path. So I started in project management. I actually did not know anything about project management until about 10 years ago. My background is totally operations management, and I've loved operations management for years. I love setting goals and I love working towards it. But I used to sit in these project meetings and I used to admire the project managers. And they used to come in and they used to use some terminologies that I found them to be so interesting. They used things like gunshots, and they spoke about stoplight signals, and they spoke about rag status, and they spoke about the same triple constraints. And they sounded to me like the superheroes in the group. And then suddenly, operations management was no longer attractive to me. And I wanted to become a project manager, just like those guys who saved the world. And so I signed up for a project management. I used to snoop in their meetings and I asked, what's this? What's this? What's a Gantt chart? And I started doing my investigation, and my career path changed from being an operations manager to a project manager. One thing we should understand is that a basic knowledge of project management can provide value to people in a variety of roles. Now, my background is operations management. I work in the HR department, and my project management skill can be used across any organization. I also lecture in the Faculty of Engineering. I'm not an engineer, but project management skills have allowed me to be able to give back to the university by lecturing. How do you take off your career in project management? Now, if you go to the PMI website, and that is going to be my source of reference because it's the organization that is responsible for the certification process, their website says 90 million project management oriented, they're currently in 2019, 90 million project management oriented employees. And if you look at the projection to 2030, that will move to 102 million persons. And there are 25 million new project management employees needed to meet that global demand by 2030. Isn't that amazing? So I see more and more on LinkedIn, I'm seeing more and more persons getting certified. In my organization, I also led a push to have our engineers certified to manage projects effectively, which will affect the bottom line for our organization. And then this part may interest you. The PMI salary survey revealed that project management practitioners with a PMP certification, which means a project management professional certification, earned 20% more than their counterpart that are not PMP certified. And I can attest to that because I can say that my salary has changed, and it gives me more negotiating power when I go to the table to negotiate because I have the PMP certification. Now, how do you get certified? Because of the competency and skills. And here I'm going to share this with you. This is what they call the Bible of project management. It's called the PMBOK guide. So in here are all the tools and methodology that a project manager uses. And in fact, the examination, which I'm going to talk about in a little while, is based on this book, the PMBOK guide. And there are also different types of project management. There is also agile methodology as well, and there is also the waterfall. What is required is a 4-year degree. You also spend 36 months leading projects. And when you apply for when you send in your application to be certified, they will require proof that you have done or led projects. You also need 35 hours of education and training in a classroom environment, or what we call the CAPM, which is the lower level of the PMP certification. The exams is 230 minutes, and you get 180 multiple choice questions. Or if you don't have the 4-year degree, but you have an associate degree or a high school diploma, now requires that you get 60 months leading on projects, 35 hours of the classroom training or the CAPM, which is the lower level of the certification, and you also sit the exam. What is also interesting is that because it's a certification, it's renewable every 3 years, and you have to show proof that you have been developing yourself or continuing, we'll call it continued education in the field of project management. So for example, I lecture. So that is what I can submit, that I'm continuing the knowledge, and also doing presentations like I'm doing today, also contribute to what they call PDUs, which is professional development units. It is estimated that about 16.5 million project managers are across the world, especially in India. We're seeing a lot of persons getting their certification. The fee is about 174 US per year, but it's a worthwhile investment because just like Toastmasters, they offer so much resources for the membership. It also allows you to get discounts on conferences, and it's also a great network opportunity. What you get once you're certified, you get this little pin. I hope you can see mine here, but this is what it looks like, magnified, a nice little golden pin. And you also get a certification, which you can give, you can frame it, or you can give it to a copy to your organization to show that you have been certified. And it gives the certification date, the effective date. So every time you renew, it gives you 3 months into the future.
3 years.
3 years, thank you very much. I appreciate 3 years. Right? So it gives you a lot of time. And for each PDUs that you earn, you submit online that you have earned the PDUs and they're approved. There's also a code of ethics that all project management managers must be signed to. And if you breach the code of ethics, you could, just like any profession, you can have your certification revoked. How do we use project management in Toastmasters? Because once you become a project manager, your life doesn't change to say, I'm a project manager today, but this evening I'm going to be a Toastmaster. And tomorrow I'm going to be an engineer, and tomorrow I'm going to be an HR person. No, it doesn't work that way. Once you're a project manager, your life completely changes. You start organizing yourself better. You start working along that triple constraint: scope, time, and your budget. And even sometimes it comes across like project management is a language that you speak. And then sometimes some persons look at it quite strange, like this is not project management. Right? So it becomes a natural part of you. I get that from my husband quite a bit, that it's not project management. There are 10 project management areas that we manage to, and they're outlined in the Pembroke Guide right here. Scope, time, costs, quality, integration, human resource, communication, risk, procurement, and stakeholder engagement. My favorite is communication, because they say project managers spend 90% of their time communicating. Because if you don't, your project is going to go crazy. So I always say, if you're a good project manager, you always make sure that you have your communication tight. Now, all these areas are very important when you manage your club. Especially now I'm an area director, I realize that project management skills is so needed and so applicable. Peter Drucker says, what gets measured gets done. And I learned that a lot when I was VP Ed back in 2019. There's so many things going on. Our club continues to grow, and the growth in the club has created that need to be more organized, because you want to make sure that every member gets that special touch. So I'm going to transition into project management, from project management, and use it into the club. In 2019-2020, when I was VP Education, so I worked very closely with our then president, Corinne Thomas. She has a wealth of knowledge on Toastmasters. I don't have that wealth of knowledge, but I do have project management knowledge. But the combination of her knowledge and my project management skill allowed us, for the first time ever in our district, a club to attain 62 education awards. See how applicable it was? And it was during COVID time, so that is what made it stood out for us. It was very exceptional. And during this COVID period, our club membership grew considerably. And it got us nervous at some point because we had moved from face-to-face to online. We had to track members' performance. We had to provide certificates. We had to assign mentors to our members, and all that administrative work took a lot of time. And so project management came in very handy. In 2020, 2021, the reverse role. So we had Corinne as the VP Ed and I as the president. And our club got 92 education award, another outstanding award, especially during the COVID period. And our membership continues to grow. Today, we're almost at 60 members and still growing because we're still getting application for membership. I couldn't imagine if we didn't have project management skill and easy speak, which I'm going to transition into. I personally have used project management as a club coach. Last year, I was a club coach. When I was being introduced to her, that I got the Club Coach Exquisite Award. If I didn't have these project management skills, especially the communication part, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So the gentleman I was working with, I think he's on the score, Austin Watson, we were both club coaches, we are both project managers. And that communication and what we brought to the club coach role made the club that we were working with from 0 education award in 1 year to getting President Distinguished Club at the end of we called it a project because it was for the year. And I remember Alston saying to me, Alston Watson, he said, and we also worked on the 190 megawatt plant together as well. And he said to me, Liz, we're only doing this club coach for 1 year, no more. So that was the time frame in which we had to work. The scope was to get VM Toastmasters President Distinguished Club, utilizing the executives and communicating, and that was the scope. We didn't have any budget, so we had to create our own little budget because there was 0 budget. And you can have a project with 0 budget. And that's what we did. And mission accomplished. The other project that I worked on last year, because as I mentioned, when I was VP Ed, we saw our club membership starting to grow. Between Corinne and I, as president and VP Ed, I don't know if we had the capability to manage that growth. Our VP membership had set a very aggressive goal and had surpassed that aggressive goal. And she continues to joke about it, to say, you know, when we go back face to face, we will need an arena. And it is manifesting itself in words. They say the power of the tongue. And so on the executive, I took it on as a project to say, we are going to do Easy Speak. So Easy Speak was introduced to me. I saw it on a Facebook forum, but I didn't quite understand it because I was asking, how do we track, because we transitioned to pathways, how do we track members' progress? And if they had a spreadsheet that they could share, and some persons shared a spreadsheet, and then I heard some person saying, why don't you use Easy Speak? And I said, what's Easy Speak? But I had no interest on it. And our immediate past division director, Fabiola, she mentioned about Easy Speak. And that's when I got a little curious about it. And I said, what is Easy Speak? And as Peter Drucker said, what gets measured gets done. And I stand here as a testimony that Easy Speak is the best thing in Jamaica, we say, since sliced bread. Why is that so? Let's take a look at what we'll be looking at for the next couple of minutes. We're going to look at an overview of Easy Speak, why it is important to automate your club, And if I have time, we're going to do a virtual tour of Easy Speak. I'm not so sure if time will allow. We have any VP heads or the presidents here or VP memberships? All right, well, if you do, what's in your toolbox? What's in your Toastmaster toolbox? I can tell you what was in mine when I was VP head. I had wall charts. I think I have some of them rolled up here that I would proudly display in our face-to-face meetings. There was Google Drive with a bunch of other stuff. I had spreadsheets. I had meeting agendas. I had a dashboard, an email with all the email addresses for all our members and our guests. I had rosters, attendance logs, members' record logs, tracking of mentors, and I had this whole heap of spreadsheet. And every week we have meetings. I had to stay back and update all of these spreadsheets. It was a lot for any VP head. Here's an example of a Pathways progress chart that Karen and I used back then. Had the name of the member, the path, the mentors, and then we had to do all these color codes. But as our membership grew, it became more and more difficult for us to add rows and columns to track members' progress. It became very tiring. We also had, like, as the years, the time period moved, we had the DCP tracking. This is the member achievement we mentioned here. We even had a calculator that we would use to calculate the time for the meeting so that we would not go over time. And we also had a list of members. Now, Easy Speak is a software that allows the club to automate your meeting planning and to track and support members' development. So all that I showed you just now is available in one simple software. And I took that as a project for my third path, which I completed last year. I put a project team together. I think we did it within, I think it was 2 months. That was a timeline. Of course, we had zero budget. And we had quite a few Toastmasters who helped with what we call the user testing. And in our club, we have different age groups. We have the millennials, we have the professionals, we have the retired persons, and they are at different age groups. So we had different persons in the club from the different levels, and we checked to see their comfort level in working with this application. It provides full data management and it automates the system. So as a VP Ed, I'm not the VP Ed this year, I'm the club secretary, but our VP Ed is benefiting from this because on a typical meeting day, we have 6, 7, 8, or 8 members speaking in the club. We also have members who are speaking outside the club. So we have to track, and it makes it so much easier because the members can go in and they can update when they want to speak or whichever roles they want to play, and if they will be speaking in the club or outside the club. It is just a click away. So we put the power essentially into the hands of the members. When we speak about project management, you know, there is the budget the cost constraint of the triple constraint. Easy Speak is free, doesn't cost a cent. And I was saying to Corinne recently that with all that Easy Speak offers, it's amazing that it's for free. There's an old saying that you get what you pay for. I think this is an exception to you get what you pay for, because I think you have gotten more than a free software. It makes it so much easier for you. What has Easy Speak done? It has moved us from here, physically and mentally, tracking all our members to a more organized and systematic way, to bringing us to that place of Zen. So we're more comfortable that we're not tearing out our ears, that we don't know that Distinguished Toastmaster Jean has started a new path, or Distinguished Toastmaster Carol Riley has completed a level or a project. All that is available in Easy Speak. Who will benefit from Easy Speak? Let's look. The VPPR. They can post flyers of the meetings because it's a network. So persons from India or Turkey can look and see which clubs meet on a Monday, and they can make a link and make a request. And they can see the flyers. You can also promote events, and I'm going to show an example of what our home club looks like. You can track guest attendance to your club. And in our club, after a guest attends the meeting 3 times, we get to reach out to them. So we can track to see who has visited our club 3 times and invite them to be members. And it's an easy conversion, because once you have updated the guest in your Easy Speak platform, to move the guest move that person from guest status to member status is as easy as just checking a box. And you can also update club news. So for example, last year we had, or early this year, we had one of our members going on to the district in terms of the speeches, and that was club news, and we put it on there for the world to see. And you can also share wonderful photos with your club as a VP PR or the VP membership. The members are able to go in when they want to speak, whether it's internal or external to the club. VP Ed doesn't have to be following everyone around to say, when do you want to speak? The members just update that. And they can sign up for role in advance. You can put your meeting schedule together for up to 12 months in advance. So if I say, for example, I'm off for another 3 months, in month 4, I can schedule that when I return, I want to be Toastmaster of the day when I return. And my VP Ed will see that 4 months from now. Members are also able to set goals, their own goals. So there's a little button there that says set goals, and you put in there what your goals are based on your schedule. And it shows you a history of your speech titles. Now, from time to time, I want to do a speech, and I can't remember if I've used the speech title before. I'm able to go in and see all my speech titles. And of course, for the VP Ed, it's a full data management system. The agenda you can create. Once the member updates their information, if you want it, you can just download the agenda, because the agenda is put together before you're ready to pull it down. And what is very important, what's one of the features is that you can just email it out to all your members. Well, at our club, that's the feature that I don't like the look, the aesthetics of the agenda. So at our club, we create our own agenda with all the colors and everything. But if you're not too fussy about that, it's a perfect way to just put your agenda together, and you will already have the mailing list, and you just mail them out to your members. And you're able to track members' achievement. At the end of the year, when you usually have your awards, you want to see how many times Liz has done Toastmaster today. How many times did she get Best Speaker? How many times did John get a specific award? It is all there, captured in Easy Speak. And the history of meeting information. So you can go way back and look at the meetings that you have had. And remember, I spoke about those Excel sheets, the charts that I used to display. They're all there in Easy Speak. So this is a snapshot of what Easy Speaks look like. We have our members. It has the last time they spoke in column over here. And it shows that, like, let's look at Andre Maury, for example. He's doing leadership development path, and he has completed level 1, 2, and 3. And he has this question sign here means that he has scheduled a speech for level 4. So at a glance, anyone can look at this chart and know exactly where the members are. Then over here, all the clubs that you have ever visited, that's me, are listed here, because they're also part of the network on Easy Speak. So if I go to, let's say, Antigua Toastmasters Club, they are also on Easy Speak. So the information would connect to our Easy Speak and it would be updated. And if I want to make a request at Leaders Beyond Border, I just click on Leaders Beyond Border. I look on their agenda to see if the space is available, and I can send a message to their VP Ed that I would like to be able to speak at their club. I don't even have to make a phone call. You can customize Easy Speak. Like here, for example, on our page, Dynamic Speakers, we have a flyer. So if persons want to visit our club, they can see the meeting times. And it also shows that we are also on social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So anybody visiting our page, it's right on the front. How do we sign up for Easy Speak? I say it's as Easy Speak. You just go to easyspeak.org and you sign up, you put your club information, your club number, and within 24 hours, usually the approval is done. The hardest part in Easy Speak is to export. If you have a small club, it's quite easy because you can manually just update the information. If your club is as large as ours, I would recommend uploading, exporting into Excel and uploading into Easy Speak. It will make it so much easier for you. But you always use the CSV format because that is what is accepted in Easy Speak. Once you have uploaded your club roster, the rest is easy. So we do mass upload. You can do that mass upload for the members list and also for the speeches. Because we had tracked the speeches. I think at some point I had to go back to the agenda to put the speeches in as at the date when we were rolling out Easy Speak as that project. There is also a control panel, which usually the VP Ed, the president, and I think there are some members of the executives that have limited access, but the persons who have major access would be the club president and the VP Ed. They can assign someone to have administrative role if they want to. And they are the only persons who have access to the control panel because you can delete or adjust information in the control panel. So hence you see this big notice here that says, "Here be dragons." It's really to distract persons that you don't really have to go there if you don't want to. But once you set it, there's hardly any reasons to go back into the control panel. I'm not so sure about the time, but let's see if we have any questions. Madam Timer, how are we with time?
Actually, Nero, in the text box, we had one question. If we have time, I can maybe ask you that one. Malcolm asked, can you also save your speech text in Easy Speak?
The speech text?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the speech itself?
Yes.
Oh, no, not the entire speech. To save your entire speech, I would recommend that you save that in Basecamp. They have that capability of you saving your speeches, the script in Basecamp.
Oh, I see.
Right, but for Easy Speak, it's just the title, the date when you want to do the speech, and the path and project.
Thank you.
Say something hello from Turkey. This is Levent. I am project manager and also I am a civil engineer. Thank you very much, Liz, for your very useful information. We are same way. We have that's why I'm saying I am civil and I'm project manager. I have been working in the construction industry for 23 years. I completed within schedule and on budget. Total value of between 50 million and 350 million US dollar project in my professional life. The last project I completed in Morocco, very similar your project in your presentation. At least I finished the 2 projects in my professional career, very similar to power plant project. I as a project manager for the breakwater project in Morocco, Black Sea and I'm very excited. What you are what you explained to us. Try fast. I have studying a PMI course.
Yeah, we seem to be having some connection.
From everyone to Jamaica. You started with Bob Marley. Very important our life. This kind of music, our culture, very similar to you. Thank you very much, Liz.
And thank you very much. I'm very happy that the presentation has added some amount of perspective. And I hope you will go on to be certified pretty soon.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, great. All right, any other questions?